Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, if my voice sounds a little different or the energy is lower, it's because I have a flu and I am getting wrecked like these markets at the moment. Listen, everything is bleeding and continues to bleed. If you have been watching the videos of where I cover, the market generally speaking, I've been calling back for these pullbacks. Since even last week, I said there was a lot of liquidity, right? There's a lot of liquidity on Bitcoin, and we were looking at a specific candle, right? You can see all the structure over here, right? There's a lot of liquidity, and we broke through it on Sunday. I did pretty much say I expect some type of pullback to continue printing lower lows. The reason why I say this is because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a big, big, big order block over here. Pretty much to summarize it, right? That is the candle that has taken out the last weekly low, right? This weekly low over here. So for me, the way I know and the way I trade, right, I look for these types of candles where they sweep liquidity. And the way they work is that, pretty much almost every time price comes back into the area, right? It's swept, right? Not below it, but a little bit somewhere into here. So I already expected this for some time. I just thought at first, when we were recovering, mid January, I thought potentially, we could have seen something like this, and then we would have continued to the upside. If we saw that right away, then, things would have been different. But the market does what it's going to do, right? We don't control the market. We can only participate in it. And sometimes, we'll make money, sometimes we'll lose money, but that's just the name of the game, right? Tomorrow we have very important news, rate cut news. Every time the rate cuts have had happen, right? We have always seen price go up. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up tomorrow, but generally speaking, the next week after that, it starts recovering. So, like I said already on Sunday and Monday, what I expect overall the next few days is for price to come back to roughly 92,000 and, possibly Thursday and Friday to start kind of going sideways and recovering, right? Something like that. I could be right, I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter, right? We just generally know where price is going to go, right? Price could enter here on a Thursday or Friday. But generally speaking, I expected a red week this week. And next week, depending on how the news goes, I expect things to be green. Overall, if the rate cuts stay the same or get cut, that's very, very bullish. If they would, for some reason, go from 4.50 to 4.75, then that would be bad for us. Now, it is American news, and I understand America is only one country, but, as you know, a lot of things revolve America in this world, and that is just the way it is, right? That is just how life works. When we talked about, Bitcoin dominance and such, I did say, and look, I even had this, I literally drew this out in the private community. Highly recommend even just joining for 3 to 4 months, just so you guys are always in the loop, right? I pretty much said, as long as we don't break this structure, we're probably gonna do something like this and we will continue to the upside. I had expected 60% dominance, and I do expect, us to go at least to this type of area before we, possibly continue going lower, right? Generally speaking, on a higher time frame, I expect us to go upwards of 69 to 70% in terms of Bitcoin dominance during the cycle at one point. Right now, obviously, you know, Bitcoin is bleeding and the dominance is going up. So it's a double slam for altcoins. But if Bitcoin starts going up and the altcoin dominance starts going up, that doesn't necessarily mean altcoins can't recover or will be making some type of moves, right? It just, at this current moment, it's a double slam, right? We're losing dominance and Bitcoin is dropping. That's why we can see when we go to crypto bubbles, a lot of coins dropped another average of, 10 to, did you say like 8 to 16%, right? On average. So yeah, we could see we are getting wrecked, and I still expect there to be more blood in these markets. When we go to something like Turbo, we can see Turbo has been bleeding out, right? It's not just Turbo. This isn't a Turbo issue. This is a whole crypto market issue, right? The next structure is all the way down here, ladies and gentlemen, at 0.0038. We actually have to hold this, right? This is one of those like scenarios where we have a little bit of structure lower and we can go because no, in this case, if Turbo were to drop, then we would, do something like this, and we would be going down to all the way these types of levels that we had last year in April and May, and things would just not be looking good. We go to something like Myro. Myro's in the dumps. There's no community pretty much support, right? It is also why it's been bleeding heavier than other coins. Render, right? We expected something like this, right? I drew it up in the thing. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more of a pullback, but nope. Generally, the message is still the same. I expect 450 over the next, couple days, few short weeks. When we go to something like Flux, right? Flux, it is bleeding out. I could expect price to go to roughly 40 cents. That's where I'm looking to be potentially buying, Flux. Caspa, right? Caspa is very, very likely that it will liquidate this 10-cent area and go to 8.5 cents. Great buying opportunity. I know damn well I'm going to be buying at those prices. When we go to something like Pangolin, Pangolin is not looking good at the moment, right? If Bitcoin, or sorry, when Bitcoin drops a lot, we should expect Pangolin to go back to, I guess, 15, 16 cents. Yeah, not the most ideal, really not the most ideal, but like I said, I don't control the markets. None of us control the markets. Only the market makers do. H bar, also expected to do something like the way I drew it out. I don't think H bar will go lower than this big zone, so I don't think it'll go lower than 23 cents in my opinion. Something like radium, right? We're gonna see it go back to roughly 425 in my opinion, right? Especially if we expect Bitcoin to drop another, let's say 10%, then radium for sure is going to be dropping a good amount. So yeah, guys, I mean, it's just red. All right, there's no confirmation of reversals just yet. Like I said, we will be monitoring things. We will see how price reacts off of here. Personally, I am taking a leverage trade when we do get to the 92K area. So if you're a leverage trader, right, you can come join me. If we get wrecked, we get wrecked together. But seriously, I don't think we will be going below, this last weekly candle. If it did happen, it would just be by maybe 200 bucks just to sweep this area. But I seriously, seriously doubt it. So we'll see how things go. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Hope they get better soon so we can be back to 3 videos a day. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are safe. Remember, mental health matters, physical health matters. Take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.